the meeting correspondence started. But we would like to have the candidates in there because okay, can we have you, Commissioner now?
Nice to see you.
Okay, just to let you know, we have Philippine Times here with Giselle, and then we have FilAmTV here with Joe Juan.
Yep.
And we also have PHLV here with Juan. So, and we still have PHLV coming, and the Chinese Daily also coming later, and so we want to start the mini press. So it will be. Are you streaming also?
I'm streaming.
Okay, you'll be streaming. So I give the microphone to Giselle, who is the president of the Filipino-American Association of Nevada, so that we can start this mini press conference.
Hello everyone. We're so happy that you made it here. Thank you for taking the time to meet with our community. So we really appreciate it. And again, my name is Giselle, so I represent the Philippine Times. And you all look familiar to me. I was already saying to most of you. So we serve the community, just want to give you background. So we have served the community 21 years already. We're the community newspaper for Las Vegas. And the mission, the goal for this meet and greet is we really just want to get more information out to the voters so they would have an informed decision when they come to vote. So there's a lot of things that we, as voters, probably are not aware of. We don't know, what each candidate is wanting to do. So this will be an opportunity for us to kind of get to know you, get to know what you're, what you're planning to do, or what should you feel like. Okay, so that's the main thing. So I would like to give the mic to each and one of you. So if you would like to speak and say your name, what area you're running, and position, and whatever else you want to say. Okay, so I'll start with you.
Hi everyone, my name is Dr. Monica Larson. I am a retired clinical and forensic psychologist by trade. I am running for Henderson City Council Ward 2. My areas that I serve are Inspirana, Anthem, Seven Hills, from Sunridge to Horizon Ridge to Gibson. It's a very large area. My platform is public safety is paramount. You do not have a quality of life unless you have public safety, which includes police and fire. That's how I actually got into this race, because we were having an influx of crime. And I reached out to my opponent with no success, no return phone calls, no emails. I started attending the city council meeting, and that's what got me into this race. I started the neighborhood watch program within my area. I went door to door. We patrol ourselves. I bought magnets and car magnets and lights, and we patrol ourselves. I take my shift 4 a.m. to 6 a.m. every morning, because it's important for me to protect our community, and so that's what deterrent crime. We unfortunately are very low, critically low on officers. As you've seen crime increase, unfortunately, public safety wasn't made a priority within our existing city council. And so I've worked at my police department in the past for 4.5 years. Had a squad, I had a patrol car, and I had a uniform. We did anything officers need when I lived in California. I've worked with law enforcement my entire career. I'm a clinical forensic psychologist, as I mentioned, and so I used to actually treat sex offenders for the state of California and victims of crime and traditional clientele. And here in Nevada, I still speak on human trafficking and child exploitation, because Nevada is number 2 in the nation. If you weren't aware, it's a very unified issue. So, with the neighborhood watch, we stop crime in our area, but we also, as you probably have experienced as well, speeders. We had speeders going down our street, which is 25 miles an hour, and they were driving 70 and 75 miles an hour every day. It was ridiculous. Again, I reached out to my current councilman with no response. I started attending the city council meeting, and I got assistance from Councilwoman who helped me get the speed bumps in our area. I had decided then and there I was running for city council because it's imperative that you listen to your constituents and that you care about their needs. Unfortunately, my opponent did not. And so I ran the last 2 days of filing, and there was a third person in the race, and he lost. And this is the first time in the city's history that an incumbent has not won at 51%. In fact, 62% of constituents voted against it. My second platform is education. You know, education is imperative for our children and grandchildren, and so Henderson and Nevada in general, we vacillate between 46 and 49 out of 50 states. We need to improve. I would like to improve our education system for our children, and part of that is working with legislature to hopefully break up our county school district so that Henderson has its own, give our kids a fighting chance. Lastly, which is so important to me, is government transparency and fiscal responsibility. Unfortunately, Henderson government is not transparent. It needs to be, there should, everything should be visible, that you shouldn't have to guess on. I don't agree that mayor or individuals, 3 men on council, have multiple consulting companies or LLCs or PACs and things like that. Everything should be on the up and up and transparent, where you know they have your best interest at heart. Also, Henderson has, unfortunately, I see things with a different lens because I am a psychologist, and also my background is criminal justice. We need more transparency when it comes to having a local newspaper, having the news department focus on Henderson, not having our social media screened by operatives or city employees. Things need to be visible and where everyone has access to that information. It's critical. And we have right now, I don't know how many of you have attended city council meetings. They're on the first and third Tuesday of every month at 3:30. Those meetings are over in 15 minutes. And most people are working or picking up their children. And so they don't have any input or say. And that's how things get approved. All they need are 3 votes. And you should have opportunities to have a say of what's going on in your neighborhood. I don't know about you, but I know in our areas, many are unhappy with all the apartment buildings that are being built left and right. And so it's imperative that residents have the opportunity to have a say what's going on within their neighborhoods. So thank you very much for your time and the opportunity to just share a little bit about me. I love my community. I love Henderson. I want to keep it safe, clean, and the quality of life.
Thank you so much. If it's okay, I'm going to stand, just helps me project a little bit and breathe. It is a pleasure to be here tonight with you all. Thank you for being engaged. I think it's important that you know a little bit about me and my why, and how we can do this together to improve outcomes for Nevada children and families. So politics was not on my radar in any way. I've lived here in Henderson since I was 4.
And I've always been proud of our community, and I've always been advocating for our children and families, especially in the realm of education. And when the pandemic hit, I was able to go with a friend of mine and do policy work and start working with the legislators across the aisle to find solutions for Nevada children and families through my work. And so I was enjoying my life doing what I do, advocating for children and families, when it came to my attention that there was an open seat. I'm running for Assembly District 29. My name is Annette Boston-Owens. This is me. You'll kind of see this in the area. Now, Assembly District 29 is in Henderson, especially Whitney Ranch area, over to Fiesta, and west to Stephanie. And so, even though I might not be in your district, I always tell people this: legislators impact across the whole state of Nevada. I've been very near to Christian, and I believe in working across the aisle for common sense solutions. So when it came to my attention there was an open seat, my response was, great, let's find someone, right? Politics was not on my bucket list. However, as I started thinking about it, and I have 6 sons of my own, and I listened to the community consistently, Nevada now is not the same that it used to be. Families are struggling, they're having difficulties. And so I know what good legislation and bad legislation can do. I've been able to see how we can find common sense solutions, how we have amazing individuals here who will work together and make things better for Nevada. And that is my commitment, to make Nevada better like we used to be. In education, we didn't used to be bottom. And I've been able to serve on Henderson's Community Education Advisory Board since we created it, to make sure that we're paying attention to our schools. It doesn't matter to me if it's a district, charter, public, private. I want all of our children to have access to a high quality education, because we know how that transforms their lives. And so that's one of the things I've been already working on, as well as healthcare. We are the only state this size that does not have a freestanding children's hospital. We have families having to go out of state or having to bounce across the city to get their care, and it's very difficult for those that can even go out of state. And we believe those things are changing. We've seen how Nevada needs to diversify. We've been working on economic development, which is another platform. We saw when the pandemic happened how Vegas shut down, how we need to diversify our economy and make it better. And so I'm grateful for those things that are happening. And that is why I'm here. And why we need all of us together is because every individual matters. Every one of you telling your neighbors about the issues, every one of you being involved, every one of you saying go vote for this person, for policies and people over politics. We can work across the aisle and find solutions, and that's what I'm committed to and always have. And so I'm here to answer questions, would love to talk to you afterwards, but that is really why I'm here. I'm tired of my own children graduating. I have 6 sons, I think I mentioned that. And a couple of them have left because there's better job opportunities elsewhere. They can find affordable housing elsewhere. That should not be the case. We have the best of everything in so many ways here in Nevada, and we need to continue to make sure that we are providing for our individuals and our people. Every day I walk my district, and I hear how it's difficult for families, for housing, for food, for consumables, for their bills. And so we need to change that, and it's possible. Together we can find the solutions and continue to move Nevada forward. We're always reinventing, we always will. And again, thank you so much for the opportunity to be here with you tonight. Happy to answer any questions later.
I'm also going to stand if that's okay. So my name is Marla Renteria. Woo! And Renteria, if you have an accent. So I am running for Henderson Justice Court Department 1. The biggest reason that I'm running is I think we need to bring some diversity of thought and experience to the Henderson Justice Court. We need to bring balance. Just to start out, if I am elected, it is 2024, and I will be the first person of color elected to the Henderson Justice Court bench if I'm elected. So I'm asking for you to do so. I've been an attorney since 2013, actually since 11, but I've been a public defender since 2013. I spent my career dedicated to protecting the rights and dignity of some of the most vulnerable members of our community. I tell people all the time that who I actually serve most of the time, while a lot of my clients are homeless, while a lot of them have nothing, I actually represent the working poor. So I represent a lot of people who are struggling to make ends meet, some people who have made mistakes. And the fact of the matter is this: I've appeared in front of way too many judges who are out of touch with the realities of what the average person is going through. So that you know a little bit about me, I was born and raised in Reno, Nevada. I am a Nevadan by birth. I actually moved down here to law school when my son was 3 years old. I was a single mother. I put myself through one of the most rigorous courses of study while raising him on my own, and I graduated in the top of my class doing that. This was not an easy task. I am no stranger to hard work. And the other thing I learned through that experience is how important community is and access to resources. Because the fact of the matter is, I wouldn't have been able to do it without City of Henderson Parks and Rec. I would not have been able to do it without child care assistance while I was in law school. There are so many things out there in the community, resources that need to be available and more. So unlike a lot of judges, I actually have a platform for my race. The fact of the matter is that Henderson Justice Court lacks diversionary programs. They require permissive transfers to either Las Vegas Justice Court or the municipal court. And when I talk about that, we're talking about mental health court, we're talking about veterans court, we're talking about a community court to address homelessness. Those things are very important. If we are going to stop the cycle of criminal activity, we have to address the root cause of these problems, because ultimately the importance for the community is to reduce recidivism. We have to hold people accountable when it's appropriate, but a 6-month sentence and back out on the street, if you have not addressed the underlying cause of the problem, is not going to solve any criminal activity that we have in our community. The other thing we need to do is our court needs to be brought up to speed. You cannot pay your fees online. You cannot pay your restitution online. There are people that are having to come to court for regular court appearances and miss jobs and spend all day in court when that just simply isn't necessary on a regular status trip when you're trying to right the wrongs that you have committed. The other thing is the court needs to recognize we serve the community. We need to be sure we are inviting community partners into the court and having conversations and finding out from communities if neighborhoods are experiencing higher crimes, if things are happening, what we need to do and what things are working or not working. So it's really important that we elect someone that has those things in mind. Additionally, I'm going to be fair. The fact of the matter is this: I have seen in justice court, if you end up in justice court, whether it's as a witness, whether it's as a victim, whether it's as a defendant, it is probably not your best day in court. And so you need to be able to appear before someone who is going to treat you with respect and dignity. So I am asking for your vote. Marla Renteria from Henderson Justice Court Department 1.
Well, good afternoon, everybody. My name is Michael Knapp. I'm your Clark County Commissioner. It's really nice to be along with some of your friends tonight. And I just want to, can we just shout out our friends at Truffle and Bacon for hosting us tonight? Thank you so much. What a wonderful establishment that's been an extraordinary part of my district, but part of Southern Nevada for such a long time in our community. Thank you. I represent the portion of Clark County that goes from Flamingo Road south of the California-Arizona border. I go west as far as Durango and east as far as Gibson. It's the unincorporated portions of Enterprise, Paradise, Spring Valley, all right. And then I go south to Laughlin, Kalamazoo, Primm, Searchlight, and the incorporated portion of West Henderson, so Inspirata, Seven Hills, Anthem areas. I've been serving, as I said, on the county commission for 5 years now. That's why so many of us in this room know each other so well. And I want to thank you all for the role that you play, particularly those here from media who have a role in communicating to the public so much that happens on a local level that otherwise we don't necessarily know about. While I know most of you realize this, Clark County, and particularly the district I represent, which is almost entirely unincorporated, we're handling for 2.5 million people. We're your social safety net. We are your regional service provider. We're the owner-operator of UMC, the state's public hospital. We own 5 airports, including LAS, Henderson Executive, North Las Vegas. We're doing water issues. We serve on dozens of regional boards. I serve on the Las Vegas Convention and Visitors Authority Board of Directors. I represent the county as the chairman of the audit committee. I serve on the board of the Debt Management Commission, regional boards that have an impact no matter where you live, whether it's in unincorporated Clark County or the incorporated sections of the valley. For a whole lot of the valley, we're performing your city services. That's 1 million people who are providing parks and rec services to land use, zoning, comprehensive planning, public works. We manage 7,800-mile lanes of road and police and fire services, ambulance services, all of these things. That's where I've dedicated a whole lot of my attention to during my time on the commission. Police, fire services, making sure that our response times are adequate. When I first came to the county, one of the biggest challenges we were having was slow response times, everything from 911 to 311. We had a shortage of dispatchers. That has been resolved. We had slow ambulance response times. We are working and have all but corrected that problem. These are things that are so important to the quality of life of everybody in this valley. And then I think a lot of you here know this, but traffic safety is among my highest priorities. It's something that no matter who you are, whether you're driving to school, whether you're riding your bike to school, whether you're getting to work, no matter who you are, you're using public right of way on a daily basis. And I was one of the first in the country to bring a Department of Traffic Safety to the municipal level. And that has been extraordinarily successful in breaking down some of the barriers in the traffic safety community, making sure agencies are working with one another. For the first time, all law enforcement agencies who deal with traffic safety met in person. First time that's ever happened in our community. And yes, with the courts on the enforcement side, yes, with road design, the way we engineer, develop, build our roads, we are slowly but surely making progress on that important front. Perhaps most importantly, I truly see my role on the commission as a customer service agent. At the end of the day, similarly to the courts, when you come to your local government, it might not always be for a great thing. A lot of you have been there getting proclamations, doing fun things, but really, at the end of the day, you're just trying to whether it's operate your business or business licensing in a fair and equitable way, whether it's just trying to get the work done that you need to, it shouldn't be such a burden. So we really are your customer service department at the end of the day, and that has been a huge focus of mine, and I believe you all feel this way, but certainly making sure I'm accessible and approachable. That's why I put myself on member on everything that I do is a huge part of the role I play. So I just thank you for hosting us tonight and allowing the opportunity for us to visit, and I hope you'll call me anytime. Thank you.
Well, I feel like I know everyone. You're all my aunties and so, hello, I'm Carl. I'm still Carl with a K. And I want to thank first Auntie Margie. Give her a round of applause, Auntie Margie. Auntie Margie is amazing. Yes, and truly thank you so much to our elected officials like Commissioner Knapp for working hard. One of the hardest working commissioners in the state. I met Commissioner Knapp when I was 16 years old, when he was working for Dean Titus, and as the director, Marla, Annette, and Monica doing so much to make sure that we are prioritizing things all across our city. But my name is Carl, running for the Clark County School District Board of Trustees. I apologize for being a little bit late. So I'm running on Filipino time. Sorry for running a little bit late. We currently have a school board meeting happening right now, and many folks, as mentioned here today, there are so many issues when it comes to our community, and we need to work together. to rebuild and bring different solutions and results. But here's my pitch. You'll hear my stump speech. Here it is. I'm Carl with a K, and I'm running to do the school board the right way. What does the right way mean? Is we need to make sure that we're prioritizing children and families. Our children and families are the bedrock of our community, which is why I want to bring our 3 R's to the school board. First, results. Results to our students through making sure that they can do math and reading. Resources to our teachers, our educators who are hardworking in the classroom, and readiness, career and college readiness. But I won't talk about my platform because of the fact that we all have spoken about different things that need to be done at the Clark County School District. But let me tell you why the race is so important. First, I will be the first youngest Filipino-American elected to any state office. So, I'm truly honored and humbled. But also, number 2 is we know that the Filipino community is one of the fastest growing communities in the state, and we need to have somebody at the school board who recognizes that. I think that it's important at the school board when we're talking and we're working with our elected officials and our candidates, we're working at the city council, in the legislature, our judicial system, at the county, that we have elected officials at the school board who truly understand what partnership looks like. And I think that the elected officials and candidates here understand that the school board has not put its best foot forward. It has not put its best foot forward. We see that the school board needs to have serious folks who actually have experience working in local, state, and federal government. And that's what I hope to bring up the school district, is that I am the youngest, but I do have the most experience when it comes to local, state, and federal government. Just upstairs in this building, was Congresswoman Susie Lee's office. I would come here all the time for breakfast when it came to making sure that I was enjoying my wonderful Filipino food when I was doing veteran and immigration casework for the Congresswoman. In the state government, I've had the opportunity to serve as the chair of the Nevada Commission on Mentoring, making sure that the kids receive the grants and the dollars necessary. And I worked at the county, me and Michael Knapp during the pandemic. We worked at R&R, you remember those conversations? People under 25 were not getting vaccinated, so Commissioner Knapp pushed to R&R partners to making sure that we had billboards and nice signs to Gen Z and young folks to make sure that they got vaccinated. Did they get vaccinated? We pushed, and we made sure that we were able to do everything we could under the sun. And in city government, working with our Filipino leaders in the city of Las Vegas to fix cracks in the road, making sure that their neighborhoods are safe. So I'll end with this, because I don't want you here throughout the whole entire time. I'm grateful to have the support of the Clark County Sheriff. Sheriff McMahill has endorsed our campaign, or supported and endorsed our campaign, because of the fact that he understands the importance that we need to build on public safety, just like the commissioner had mentioned, right? Just the harrowing statistic, 100 students have been hit or struck in a school zone. That's completely unacceptable. We need the school board working with our county commission, our judicial system, our legislature, and our city council to get this done. We need to make sure that we're protecting our students. I'm grateful to also be the only candidate to be endorsed by the School Board Integrity Project. School Board Integrity Project, we need professionalism, compassion, kindness back in the school board. We need to make sure that when we have representation on our board, we also need to be professional and like-minded. So thank you so much, Salamat, for your support. I'm grateful, and I'll pass it back over to Auntie. Here you go. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much. Okay, so we're going to open the floor for questions.
Hi, Carl. Good to see you this afternoon. I'm directing the first question to you. I hope you don't mind. And I know you call me Tito Joel if you're not really related, but I never want to put you on the spot.
Okay.
But last night. Hello. Last night we saw on the news on TV something very worrisome. Clark County School District, $20 million on the red. So, and because of that, a lot of parents are worried, especially those parents of kids with special needs, because historically those classrooms for kids with special needs are much smaller. Now they're not going to be that number anymore. number of kids would be increased, and the teachers would be shuffled around. So what are your thoughts? I mean, what do you think of this happening?
I can talk loud too. Don't worry.
Thank you, Tito. And as a young Filipino man, it's respectful for us to call our aunties and uncles out of all due respect. Yes, not by their first name. So I learned that when I was a young kid, and Oscar Goodman was walking around our house. We needed to call him Tito, and I was like, he's not relevant to me at all. Who is this guy? But he's our mayor. Let's get to the question when it came to the 25 million, and also making sure that we're talking about the budget deficit and the shortfall when it comes to Clark County schools. I think us here as elected officials, elected officials and candidates understand it's unacceptable. It's completely unacceptable. We need to make sure that we have serious leadership at the Clark County School District addressing budget shortfalls. In my race, I have background. My certificate is in Education, Finance, Leadership Strategy from Georgetown University's McCourt School of Public Policy. So when I went to Georgetown University, I saw how we compared budgets from Massachusetts to Texas, Texas to Nevada, Nevada to California, and we were able to compare different budgets. I'll add that as my first piece of this answer. My second piece is my mom currently works in the district. My mom is FPTA, a special ed teaching assistant. So she, as an educator, understands that we need to have resources to our most needy students living and working with disabilities. That's my second piece. So that's how I approach this specific topic. But the third topic is I've already gotten to work. I think Dr. Monica Larson sees me on the Facebook page. I'm in the Inspirata Facebook page talking to the parents who are already impacted. So currently right now, there is the reshuffle happening right now. Teachers are being reshuffled to schools where they need teachers there. But right now, it's being disrupted to students who are losing a teacher. Can you imagine second graders, third graders, fourth graders are losing their teacher right now before winter break? So these students are feeling upset that, oh my gosh, my third grade teacher is leaving. Where are they going, right? Students don't understand the administrative pieces of that, right? But also, we have a budget shortfall. We have a budget shortfall at hand when it comes to the district, and I feel seriously that we need to make sure that we have, one, a forensic analysis, which was called by Governor Lamarga. Governor Lamarga called for a forensic analysis, or an analysis of the Clark County School District. In the primary election, I was the only candidate to call for a forensic analysis of the Clark County School District. The second piece is that I think that we need to make sure that we have input from our leaders, looking at where the budget and where dollars are going to, which goes into my second R, results, resources, readiness, the resources. Making sure that resources are appropriately allocated. Clark County School District has one of the largest budgets in Southern Nevada. We need to make sure that those dollars, those tax dollars, the tax dollars coming from our property taxes and coming from the different allocations of taxes, need to be allocated appropriately. And you need school board members who are, I would call myself stern, and looking at the dollars being spent well wisely to our most hardworking educators in our school district. That's my second to last piece. But my last piece on this is that you need qualified leaders to address this issue. Because we've seen right now at the school board that they have different members who are saying that they're conducting oversight, but where is the real oversight when it comes to how is this impacting student achievement? How is this impacting transportation when it comes to public safety? How is the school district working with the county to allocating dollars to crossing guards or making sure that we are updating road crossing markings? All of these to say that it needs to be allocated appropriately. It's unacceptable. We should not be in a budget shortfall. And as we're talking now, the district is talking about that right now at its public meetings. So that's how I would approach it, and I welcome feedback from members of the community and from our upcoming leaders in the community to help me fix this problem at the school board. I will call on you to help me address it. Thank you.
Good afternoon. My name is Tuan Pham. I think I play several roles in the communities. First of all, that I am one of the people who are working in the Vietnamese community. But more importantly, I retired 5 years ago. I understand that right now there is a lot of things that we can work on. I also is one of the board member of the Asian Chamber of Commerce, and that is probably taking about between 12 to 15% of the populations here in Vegas. And we've been forgetting, especially the Asian community. Percentage-wise, I think that we hold quite a bit of as a business owner. And recently that there is a federal grant has been dedicated to the county to distribute it and help the business owner or small business owner here in the county. So the question is directing to Commissioner Knapp. If you could maybe elaborate a little bit and see that how you can disperse all of the information to the business community. The second question that I have is that you touched a little bit on the traffic in southern Nevada is getting worse. It's become, the road become very dangerous, especially that, people running red line, and we, more likely that we blame it on Californians people. And it is true. I know that the sheriff is paid a lot of attention to it and trying to see if we can control the road. And if anyone on the panel may be addressing those issues. And the third one that I have is that the issue of the homelessness. And I think that is going to be an issue for all of us. If we don't take care of it now, we become another California, and we don't want it to. Thank you so much.
Well, thank you. If it's all right, I'll take us down to some of those and appreciate your thoughtful questions. So business in Clark County. You're right. The Asian community, Asian American community has disproportionately high numbers of independent local businesses and excel in that way. And so through Clark County's business licensing office, we work to expand language access. We work to make everyone from our agents to our leadership in that office available. I think everybody here probably has Vincent Giano's phone number on speed dial. He's our director. If you don't, we'll give it to you. He's our director of Clark County's business license office and has done an extraordinary job getting out into the public. So if we need to step that up in your community or in your businesses, happy to do that. But we routinely hold events with our business licensing department to understand better how we can streamline those processes, make ordinances that don't have to be so complicated, particularly on local independent businesses, a little bit simpler is certainly something that we strive for. So any input you have on ordinance related to the business community, I hope you'll bring that. We are out right now with business impact studies and often are. So happy to engage with you further on that. Traffic safety, you're right. We have more people dying on our roads in Clark County than we do to, anything else. Violent crime is down, but road crime is up. It's the number one cause of death of minors in our community is road crashes. This week in particular has been one of the most deadly weeks on our road that we've had, the most deadly week on our road this year. At the 119th fatality in our jurisdiction early this morning. Just so you know, some of the things I mentioned, the Office of Traffic Safety. One of the most unique things about it is the office responds to every fatality that we have on our roadway. That's how I know I get a call, no matter what time it is, I get a call when we have a fatality on our roadway. And the unique thing about the office going and responding is prior to that department, crashes were only assessed for criminality. We didn't really assess crashes for engineering challenges or missteps or environmental issues or concerns or a number of other factors. We do that now, and that, while it's going to be a long process, it's not overnight, is having an extraordinary impact on how we design, engineer, and build roads in Clark County. For decades, Clark County has built some of the widest, longest, and fastest roads that we have. I've passed a number of ordinances that changed that. I have a safe sidewalk ordinance that was adopted 2 years ago. That requires detached sidewalks on all 60-foot right-of-way plus. That's transformational. The reason for that is, one, by the way, detached sidewalks, you're like a million. Detached, this is like a super sexy topic to me, so give me the hug if you don't want to talk more about detached sidewalks. But detached sidewalks have a landscape buffer that protects the pedestrian from the flow of traffic. It takes about an average of 4.2 feet for a driver who pops a curb to correct their action and go back onto the street. That's why we require a 5-foot detached separation between the curb and the sidewalk. It saves lives. In fact, we would have virtually no pedestrian fatalities on sidewalks if all of our sidewalks were detached. So we're now doing that in Clark County. Carl highlighted it a little bit, but we were the first jurisdiction of my direction to add crossing guards to all middle schools in Clark County. That is now our contract, and I'm proud that the city of Henderson followed suit us in North Las Vegas, and would encourage you all to call our friends at the city of Las Vegas and tell them to do the same, because that will save lives, particularly in schools. And then you look at the way we enforce our laws. You mentioned the sheriff. I am proud that the sheriff has taken the leadership role in traffic safety. It's the first time in a while that we've had a sheriff who has stepped into traffic safety in such an ambitious way. I've got 3,200 give or take officers on the road who handle violent crime prevention, and about 163 officers at the traffic bureau. Up until recently, it was very rare for patrol officers to do any kind of traffic enforcement. That's changed. Now every member, thanks to the sheriff's leadership, every member of the police department knows that they have a role to play when it comes to traffic safety. Patrol officers are conducting stops, they're stepping up all levels of enforcement, including driving while intoxicated and other things. So I'm pleased with that. We also have now I mentioned the communications bureau, which is fully staffed. But we maintained and have been able to hire our 2 to 1,000 ratio of officers to citizens in Metro's jurisdiction. We have to continue that. That's really, really important. And then homelessness. We have spent a lot of energy in Clark County I mentioned at the end of the day, we're the social safety net provider for the entire region, 2.5 million people. I was out there in the middle of the night during the census doing the homeless count. It's really important that we do that because that's how we're federally funded to deal with this issue. The county commission has spent an unprecedented level of resources on homelessness. And yes, the number's going up. Everybody read in the paper, we have the 7,600 in the census count, but what wasn't highlighted appropriately was we have more people than we have ever had before accepting services, because we are offering more services than we ever have before. We have just under 10,000 beds available on a nightly basis in Clark County. And so I think as we continue to make resources available, and that's full wraparound resources, it doesn't do good to give someone some pavement to sleep on if you're not also providing full wraparound substance abuse, mental health services to them. But now that we've done that, we've got to get more serious about homelessness in our public spaces. And so right now, the county commission is considering following the other jurisdictions that have adopted camping prohibitions in our jurisdiction. You've seen the entire state of California has done that. Clark County can't be a donut hole for homelessness in the valley and in the region. So coupling the services and the resources and the long-term care is going to be really important as we do that. Thank you.
Okay. We'd like to also hear from our 3 wonderful ladies here. As soon as you get into office, what would be the first thing you're going to prioritize in your work as soon as you win? and then start to work. What will be your top priority?
I'll expand. My first priority, as I mentioned, public safety is critical. I'm not sure if you know, the population, as you know, in Henderson has exploded. We're over 344,000 in population. For public safety, the FBI says for every 1,000 residents, permanent residents, you should have 2.34 patrol officers for every 1,000 permanent residents. Henderson is at 0.6. We are critically low. That's why you see the crime. That's why you see the speeders, because officers can't be out there patrolling. In fact, 2 weeks ago, we had a drunk driver drive through my neighbor's wall, and he missed a propane tank by inches. It's out of control. With the speeders, I actually did speak to Sheriff Mayhill a few weeks ago at a meeting. It's not my jurisdiction. However, there is something that they're kind of tolling around throughout the nation. It's called an independent speed adaptation system. And what that is a device that is attached to a vehicle. So anyone going over a speed limit of 10 miles per hour, they won't be able to go any faster than that, only first responders. And it also is twofold, because an individual, if they're drinking, they won't be able to start the car. And we discussed that potential option. That's not something in my realm, but it's just something I'm putting out there that could be an option. Public safety is critical. We have to hire more officers. Right now, as I mentioned, we're critically low there. That's why they're not able to assist us. And the reason being is because at one time years ago, they used to be the highest paid. They're now the lowest paid in the valley. So that's why we haven't been able to retain and recruit more officers. So my first order of business, retain and recruit more officers, pay them what they're worth, and give them the incentive to live here, because it's extremely expensive for them in times as well. So that would be my first order, so we can keep our cities safe.
Thank you. One of my first priorities, if the public decides to meet, is education. Education impacts across so many realms. We have a number of youth that are graduating and they are not going to college and they are not working. So we have disconnected youth. We have shortages in the workforce that we need here that is so important. We have gaps in education. Our proficiency rates in math and reading have gone down. We have to have accountability for that and make sure that when schools are failing, that they're not allowed to continue to fail, but that they have the supports necessary, the leadership change that's needed to succeed. We need every one of our children having access to a high-quality school. Education impacts our adults as well. We can have education for the parents and job opportunities and economic development that can lift the whole family out of poverty, right? And it helps us stave off the homelessness issue that we're talking about. So education is my background. It cross-cuts in everything. In education too, our mental health supports in the schools that we're working on, right? We know that we are last in mental health access for families, and that can happen in the school and through curriculum. Universal pre-K, right? That's something that data has not invested in. It not only helps, that one of the best predictors of a child's future success is their kindergarten readiness. And so those early investments early on also helps the parents who can't afford childcare. Childcare is so expensive for them, so it helps the whole family out. And then making sure that our children are on grade level every step of the way. After 13 years in the school district or in the charter or in whatever system you're in, you should graduate fully prepared for a lifetime of success. And this is possible, and this is what good schools do. So we need to have every one of our students having access to a high quality education. And I want to say too, I'm going to add a little bit, okay, to the housing issue. Housing is going to be a big issue, I believe, going forward. And I recently was at a homeless conference for 2 days. And the beautiful news is we have amazing leaders, Congressman Horsford, Susie Lee, the governor's representative was there, a panel with the news, talking about how we have people living in the tunnels, right? And how we are
Underground.
hotter now. It's October and we're still hot, and people are struggling. And so we've got to address these issues, like Commissioner Knapp said, with these wraparound services, giving people the supports that they need, right? Mental health included, and connecting them. There's federal money on the table that we haven't always taken advantage of. Nancy Bruni was there, Tick Sederblum was there. They talked about the vouchers, some of the assistance for housing that is necessary, and changing the landlord's minds on accepting those vouchers. We have to be creative and come up with solutions. Tiny homes. We see the city of the historic West Side coming up with innovative solutions for housing. It's going to be something that is very much on the forefront, but the beautifulness is that there are community members and home builders across our state that are interested and want to help and make this happen, so that there are solutions. So, but for me, my background is education, and that was one of the first things that I want to work with across the aisle. And we've had some amazing things that happened last session that the governor also is had historic investments in education. But again, with the accountability that Carl was talking about, that it's necessary with those resources and making sure we're seeing the receipts for what we're investing in.
Thank you.
So I think I'm at a slight disadvantage with the question because I'm not going to be a legislator. So on day one, I'm taking over a caseload of whatever's handed over to me. So I would, quite frankly, day one is getting a bearing on my courtroom, how I can manage it, how I can get efficient. And the other thing that I'm very, very cognizant of is I need to know how the people that work for me. The court system is run oftentimes by the clerks, by the secretaries, by the administrators of the court. So one of the things is I have these very strong plans that I want to advocate for so that we can start addressing criminal justice reform and making sure we're addressing crime in the area, community safety, and providing the wraparound services that everyone keeps talking about. But before I can go in and unilaterally make changes, I need to find out from those that would be responsible for helping us implement it and get it done. I need to learn how things are done. I need to know how resources are. So the first thing that I'm going to start with is having communication with those that know better than me, how we seek out funds, how we reach out to community members, and how we collaborate, because that is truly what I will have to do in order to make the court serve the community that I want to represent. So that is going to be my first thing, get bearings on my case, start the conversation and find out who I need to talk to and how we secure the funding to bring the necessary programs into the court system to bring us up to speed and to make sure we are addressing the root cause of crime so that we can keep people from committing crimes over and over again.
Okay, you know that.
Oh, excuse me. She has a question.
Yes. That we are streaming live. That right now we have FilAmTV streaming us live. We have Yet TV here, and we have the entire Philippine Times family. They're here, and you can get a copy of. I know you have one more question. At the same time, you all two questions. But they're about to leave, and we also want to make sure that you eat because there's food. Okay, so what do you want to do? You want question first? Okay, question first. Oh, okay.
Well, I had a question.
Yes.
That's okay. She can go.
Okay.
My name is Cristina Llorente Rose, and my claim to fame is that I am the end of Margie Tennessee. Now, my question is for Dr. Larson. It's almost similar question to mine, but it's more specific. I'd like to know, when you're elected, what will you do for seniors at the San City Anthem, of which I am a member? Thank you.
Seniors are my heart, and that demographic is my heart. It's right next door to my city. One of the first things, because I'm always in Sun City Anthem, one of the things I started, because that's a senior community and retirement community, one of the things they don't even have is a stoplight for them to turn left safely to go to the grocery store. There are cars going 70 and 80 miles an hour where they're trying to turn left. There's been numerous accidents, and there was even a fatality a few years ago. Unfortunately, my opponent said that it would take 10 injury-related accidents or a fatality before they would even consider putting in the stoplight. That's ridiculous. You be proactive, not reactive. You should not have to wait for someone to be maimed or killed to do the right thing. Stoplight would not take that much money. It should have been installed in the first place. That's one of my first orders of business. I actually went around in the 120-degree heat and got signatures, hundreds of signatures, and I'm still collecting them for a petition. And so I will go over the existing city council head to make sure we get that stoplight. Because even 3 weeks ago, there were 3 accidents in 2 days. One was grandparents who had their 2-year-old grandchild in the car, and they were injured. So you use common sense and do the right thing the first time, where seniors aren't impacted like this for their safety. Secondly, make sure you have the resources that you need. Currently, right now, it's almost this split. Because Sun City Anthem is a very large community, and then there's Anthem Country Club. Well, Anthem Country Club has their needs met. The other parts of Anthem do not. I want to make sure that you're heard, that your issues are taken care of and addressed, because just like I mentioned before, how I even got into this race, I wasn't heard or listened to. I'm making sure that you and everyone within Anthem and community as well has that dedicated time every week. I will keep hours open. I always will give you my telephone number that you can reach me, so it won't be a staff person. It will be me personally. My email, but I'll give you hours every week for you to come in if you have any issues, so that we can address them and that we get it taken care of.
I had a friend who had an accident at the same place 3 times.
Oh, my goodness.
All right, just a quick question, and you can actually I'll just maybe email you if you want, so you can respond that way. My name is Corinne Ramos. I play a commercial real estate agent during the day. My first career, though, was I was a journalist for Philippine media. 30 years ago, I still freelance. I absolutely love it. So specific to our community, first of all, thank you so much for being here. This really goes to show how much our vote really counts now, right? So since this is a Filipino event for the Filipino community, Carl, you don't get to answer this, sorry. I'm gonna discriminate against you. So, what do you think is the most pressing issue facing the Filipino-American community here in Las Vegas, and how would you address it?
When it comes to the court system, I think one of the biggest things that I noticed when I just did a quick search of Henderson Justice Court is that there seem to be limited resources in other languages. Our court system is not readily understandable even to those that are born and raised here. And so I really think that in addition to providing all the documents in the dominant languages of the community, which should include Tagalog, that we need to make sure that we are providing instructional videos on how someone, because a lot of times in justice court you represent yourself. So how do you file a lawsuit? How do you answer a lawsuit? How do you bring claims if you're having an issue? How do you respond to eviction? More than just an instructional. We can have videos, we have YouTube videos for everything else. The court should have those videos ready and available. These are the steps and processes. This is how you step into a courtroom. This is how you respond. Here's who you talk to. And have those available in multiple languages. I think that's one of the things that we need to do to address the community, people of all colors and people of all languages to make sure that the justice court is actually accessible to the people it serves.
I would have to say from my area, it would be representation, so for teachers. Because right now, it's very low for the representation for the Asian community within our educational system. What someone also brought up earlier was businesses. I want to make sure that our business licenses, permits, and things like that are also accessible, because right now, the focus has been big development. The small businesses have suffered greatly. We've had numerous ones closing. Just last week, 3 alone on my block. And I want to make sure that the Asian community has access to city council when you need help with permits and things like that. And we assist you for your needs, but for the biggest need, like I said, I would say representation of the educational system. Thank you.
Let me just be clear, I agree with them. Let me just be clear, you have the first Filipino-American on the school board, your local school board, and my background is doing immigration and veteran work in the United States Congress. So when I was working for Congresswoman Susie Lee, I was responsible for making sure we expedited the visas for our Filipino families all across Southern Nevada. I also had to work with Homeland Security, USCIS, and the reason why I share that from my experience is it's important to have leaders who understand how these visas work. For example, the J1 visas for our teachers, making sure that our teachers have the resources and they do not have the stress of having to worry about their visa when they're teaching our students, right? So that's one of the things that I bring to the school board when it comes to how we would fight for our Filipino-American community. But it's also important, you go to the Palenque, you go to Seafood City, you go to the different markets, but you don't hear much positive stuff about the school district. What's going good in the school district? We always see the negatives, right? We always see budget shortfall. We see teacher abuse. We see student bullying. We need to make sure that we are communicating what is your school board members doing with your judicial and your city council and your legislative and your county when it comes to getting results. Because I was born and raised in a Filipino family, so you know that very, very concrete results. Hardworking, we want to make sure that our kids succeed, go to college, go to get a scholarship, and that's what my mom instilled in me. So you will have a school board member when I'm up on the dais asking, how does what you're saying right now impacting kids? I don't want to hear about, petty politics. I want to hear about what you're bringing up to me, CEO or CFO or Chief Operating Officer, how does this impact graduation? How does this impact the Filipino mom or dad in East or North Las Vegas when it comes to the nutrition for the kids? That's what I hope to bring at the school board, and thank you for your time. I know we have to run out. Thank you, thank you, thank you.
We want to thank you so much for your time. I know time is very valuable, and we really appreciate that you've taken the time to talk to us and to really, it's a big gesture for our community. It's a big gesture because your presence here, and I myself personally have your support, so I want to support you guys. So thank you so much. Anyone else would like to say?
I know you're all going still to Henderson Thames, yeah. But for us who will be staying, we will talk about them when they leave. We will talk about what we heard, but get your food first, and let's have a conversation, okay? Let's have a picture together first. Okay, have a picture with them. Yes. A picture. Join us in the picture.
Maybe let's get everyone.
Leave it there. Thank you.
Dapat yan na lang, ibigay na lang.
Share, thank you for talking about it.
I know, I keep
Masyata may nakaupo. Nakasha about everyone.
Just Card.
All right.
It's official. I should have worn my red.
Hindi pa share na lang.
Squeeze. Sideways. Squeeze. Ready, everybody see?
Join us, Gilbert.
Gilbert, come over.
We got a few cameras.
Oh, you really? Yeah, there. In between. Up there. Beautiful.
Thank you.
Don't be just here. Hey, go.
More cameras.
We're losing people, we're losing.
Tears up.
One, two, three. Okay. All right, ready? Let's finish the job. Let's finish the job. One, two, three.
Sing. Again. One more. All right.
Thank you.
Okay.